I think what we've seen today is an extraordinarily dangerous situation. We have seen effectively the opening of a potentially catastrophic second front in terms of the war in the Middle East. We're also seeing civilians being targeted again. You know, we're not seeing a targeted response to terrorism here. What we're actually seeing is amongst those dead so far, at least 21 children now confirmed dead as well, at least 1,000 people injured. So the pattern, unfortunately, of flouting international law and disregard for rules of engagement in terms of protecting civilians is yet again being completely and utterly disregarded. It's a really, really dangerous situation. We should be here at the United Nations this week talking about de-escalation, and instead we're going to be meeting at a UN General Assembly against the backdrop of escalation.
And do you think some have suggested, including American officials, that actually this General Assembly could inflame the situation there rather than de-escalate, depending on various, I guess, leaders' speeches?
Well, I certainly hope not. I think we have to remind ourselves of the very purpose of the United Nations. I mean, the United Nations was founded to resolve conflicts peacefully and politically. And I do think the world now and world leaders, as we gather here, need to ask ourselves about the consistent application of the rule of law and of international law. We cannot have a situation where international law must be applied to some but can be disregarded by others. Israel, of course, has a right to live in security and safety. Of course, Israel has a right to defend itself. Of course, Israel has a right to address any terrorist attack that it experiences. But that is not what we're seeing now. What we're actually seeing is a blatant disregard for international law, no consideration in terms of protection of civilians, and yet again children finding themselves caught up in the midst of conflict.